Take a seat.
My name is Vikram Akula, and I'm the founder and CEO of SKS Microfinance. We're a new generation microfinance institution working in India. Currently, we serve about 3 million clients. We've given out about $1 billion of microcredit loans, as well as other financial services, and we're looking to expand even further to about 15 million clients over the next couple of years. The reason I got into microfinance is I actually used to work as a loan officer for a nonprofit NGO MFI, and I gave my loans and saw the tremendous impact that it made on people's lives. But one day I met a woman from a more remote village. She was clearly quite poor, emaciated, but had an idea to start a small village grocery. And she asked if I could start this work in her village. So I went back to my NGO directors and asked them if we could start. And they said two things. They said, one, we don't have funds. After all, it was a grant-based NGO. And two, even if we had funds, we're not sure if we could scale much beyond the 200 villages that we're in. So I went back and I told this woman we can't start. And she said something to me that I'll never forget. She said, "Am I not poor too? Do I not deserve a chance to get my family out of poverty?" She wasn't asking for a dole. She wasn't asking for a handout. She was simply asking for an opportunity. And for me, that was a very jarring question. It said to me that, while I'm doing microfinance in one area, if we're not expanding it, we're really not taking microfinance to its full potential, to its promise of really eradicating poverty in our lifetime. So I left my NGO, went and did my PhD, and thought about how to set up a microfinance institution that could scale. And I came back to India in '98 and set up a SKS on three principles. One was the principle of using a commercial approach to access capital. Two is to use best practices from the business world to scale very rapidly. And the third was to use technology to overcome the cost constraints. And by using those three principles, today we grow at about 200% per year. We add 300,000 clients every month. And we're one of the fastest growing microfinance institutions in the world today. And it's this model of microfinance that we'd like to see proliferate throughout the developing world. And in this way, we think we can take microfinance to its full potential of eradicating poverty in our lifetime.
What would you say to an aspiring social entrepreneur?
Sure. I think the best advice that I got when I first started this work was from a mentor of mine who said, look, when you start, don't worry about making a mistake. Don't worry even if the entire fund that you've raised, you've lost it. And he said that to me in a way that was very reassuring. It allowed me to start taking risks that normally one doesn't take because you're scared, you don't want to make a mistake, you want to get things right. But his words made me realize that you don't need to get it right. It's okay to make a mistake. In fact, it's expected to make a mistake. And I think that gave me a little bit of freedom to really be creative and really think through things and try new things out. Now, fortunately, everything worked very well, but I don't think if those words weren't said to me, I don't think I would have had the sort of freedom of mind to really be creative. So that's the advice that I would give is don't worry about making a mistake when you first get started. You're going to make mistakes, and that's perfectly okay, but allow yourself, that room, and then you'll see the creativity come out.
So would you consider yourself an entrepreneur, a socialist, a social worker? What would you consider yourself?
I'm definitely comfortable being called a social entrepreneur, which I define as someone who is using fresh, innovative approaches to solve age-old, intractable social problems, in my case, the issue of poverty.
And would you like to say anything about the forum?
Sure. I think what's exciting about the Global Social Innovators Forum is that many of us in the social entrepreneur space are working in different regions, working in different sectors, but it's very useful to have a discussion across sectors, across regions. We find that that's the way, at least I learn a lot when I go to these events and really am put together with other social entrepreneurs working on things. And you learn things, you sharpen your own ideas. And I think that's what's most exciting about this opportunity is that it really brings people together so that they can share those types of ideas.
I'm Jon von Tetzchner. I'm the CEO of Opera Software, the company that is now the oldest browser company in the world. That means that we've outlived a number of competitors like Netscape, and we competed with companies like Microsoft and the like for a lot of time. Grown from 2 people in 1995 to 530 at the last official count this summer. So, how do you compete with large companies? When you're a small company competing with large companies, how can you compete? And for us, it's been a question of being innovative. Think new, think different. Think about how we can make a better product for our end users. And over the years, we've done a lot of things. And there's not a single innovation, but there's actually a number of different innovations. And one of the things that we've done in the last few years is Opera Mini. So with Opera Mini, we've taken we've been doing web browser for mobile phones since 1999, but what we did, we provided a solution that runs on just about any mobile phone, compresses the data so you get a better user experience on the mobile phone. So that's one thing that we've done. But we're also thinking about how can we make browsers richer, how can we make use of web technologies moving forward. As the web, as we know, it becomes, or has already become, the platform of choice for development. What we've been doing there, we've been looking at web applications, widgets, applications that run across platforms. You write an application once, it runs on anything ranging from a mobile phone to your PC to your set-top box. It's part of the innovation that we do, and again, we are now a group of 530 people that thinks about only one thing, which is to make better software for the internet.
And what is your turnover every year? And what is it about the software that is fundamentally different from others in the market?
So the turnover last year was in Norwegian kroner a bit above 300 million NOK. Should I calculate what that means? So
That'll be good. Yeah.
Last year we made about 300 million NOK, which I guess translates to a bit more than 300 million, which is something like 50, 60 million dollars,
Okay.
depending on the actual dollar value at the time. So that's what we made last year. That was a growth of 48% from the year before, and we have actually tended to do 40-50% growth every year since the founding of the company, except in 1998 when we did 600%. So our goal for this year is to do a little bit better than last year, or at least, well, no worse, right? What differentiates is, well, we focus on the end user. We are a company that thinks about one thing, to make the best possible browsers. On the PC side, we have a product that runs very well, with limited hardware, it's tailored to the user in a multitude of ways. What we did since Opera 1, basically since 1994, as we made the first version in 1995, is to have multiple windows. So if you try to think about how it works in other browsers, when you start another browser, they start with one window. I think that's what most people are used to. You start with one window, and then you open some tabs. In Opera, you start with multiple windows. To me, it's kind of like the movie Groundhog Day. The other browsers is like the movie Groundhog Day. You have to restart your day all the time. While in Opera, you can continue where you left off, which is normal life, the way we know it. So that's one such feature that we have that differentiate one of our lot of features. We have things like mouse gestures, and we have fit to window. If the size of the screen doesn't fit the page, you can fit the page to the size of the screen. Things like that. A lot of things that make people's lives easier. But we also provide our solution not only on PCs, we provide mobile phones, we provide televisions and set-top boxes and game consoles. So if you get, for example, the Nintendo Wii and you want to browse, you'll use our browser to browse. And every time we spend a lot of time trying to make a great user experience, which I do believe that you'll find you'll get on the Wii, for example. So as a company, we are unique in providing our solutions, web browsers, across more devices than anyone else, more operating systems than anyone else, and leading the way in that respect.
So is your innovation a social innovation as well?
Part of it, I mean, we believe that the internet is probably one of the biggest things that's happened in many, many, many years. And what we are trying to do as a company is to make sure that as many people as possible have access to the internet. Part of that is providing solutions like Opera Mini, which is a free download to mobile phone, which is enabling millions and tens of millions of people around the world to get on the internet with the lowliest of mobile phones. As an example, in Bangladesh, more people have browsed the internet with mobile phones using our software than their PCs in the country. Through the work that we do, we believe we are helping get more people on the internet, which I do believe is something that can help change the world in a very positive manner. So I think it's worthwhile to continue down that path.
Why is social innovation important? And if you can answer, starting with social innovation, that would be good. So why is social innovation important to you? Or why is such innovation that changed the way that people do things important for you to devote your time, your energy and resources to developing them? Is it just about market share, or is it a lot more than that?
Well, I mean, social innovation is important because it's about changing the world. It's about making a difference. What we do with our software is making all those people get on the internet that would not have been on the internet otherwise. By doing that, we're making a difference, and that is, we believe in the company that is very valuable. We're making a difference. We're helping people get on the internet. We believe the internet is extremely important, and it can change people's life to have access to this tool and all the wealth of information, and to be able to communicate with each other in unique new ways.
Take a seat.